I love conducting garden experiments, but every now and again, the results of these garden experiments shock even me. The results of this free cardboard box raised garden bed experiment were so shocking I have no choice but to rank it a 10 out of 10, and I highly recommend everybody give this a try because you will learn so much about how resilient plants are in the process, and it's completely free to do.
If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and check out my Amazon store and Spreadshop links in the video description for everything I use in my garden and awesome custom apparel and gear.
I love my wooden raised garden beds, but it takes over an hour to build one, costs over $100 in materials, and you have to have tools in order to do it. But do you know what all of us have way too many of these days? Cardboard boxes, especially from a company that begins with AMA and ends in ZON. So today I'm answering a question nobody asked, but I've always wanted to know. What happens when you grow a full garden in an Amazon box and treat one just like a raised garden bed? Well, I planted a diversity of things in an Amazon box and I tracked the progress from start to finish, and the results blew my mind. When selecting a cardboard box to use as a raised garden bed, you have to make sure two things are true. Number one, it has to be large, and number two, it has to be reinforced. You can't use a small, flimsy box because the sun and rainfall and irrigation will destroy it. So here I have a large, heavy-duty, reinforced box, and this is going to be the perfect vessel to use as a substitute-free raised garden bed. Before we begin, we have to reinforce the cardboard box. While we are using a heavy-duty box to begin with, months of irrigation and the hot beating sun will weaken the box. So in order to prevent a blowout, I'm using packing tape along the bottom, both long ways and width ways, to add more structural integrity. Next, we have to fill the cardboard box with potting mix. Because we are using a relatively small box, it is important that we use a mix rich in peat moss or coco coir for moisture retention. For convenience, I'm using a standard, moderately priced potting mix from a big box store, but I'm also adding extra perlite to the mix for more aeration. You can use a different potting mix brand if you want, or you can make your own from scratch. But if you buy it, make sure you use potting mix and not something labeled garden soil. Those are cheap recipes bulked with shredded bark that are too low in peat moss and they won't retain enough moisture. After the potting mix is complete, I'm topping the raised bed with 3 inches of a quality compost to add nutrients, organic matter, and better soil moisture retention. Then I'm fortifying the mix with 2 types of organic fertilizers. The first type is a standard organic all-purpose fertilizer. I'm using Espoma Garden Tone, but any organic all-purpose fertilizer will work just fine. Then I'm adding a natural bone meal supplement, which is rich in calcium and phosphorus for superior root development. After the fertilizer amendments have been added, I'm mixing them well to evenly incorporate them into the raised garden bed. I will not be adding any fertilizers or soil amendments for the rest of this garden experiment. Now that my garden bed is fully amended, it's time to start planting. Crop number 1 is a Swiss chard transplant, which I suspect will grow well. My goal is to plant a wide diversity of things in this garden bed, so a spinach transplant is going in right next to the Swiss chard. It looks like I have room for one more seedling, so next to that is Southern Giant Mustard Greens, my favorite mustard green variety. And in front of that will be Ms. America Purple Mizuna, also called Japanese mustard greens. Alongside these transplants, I'm going to directly sow some radishes. I'm poking my finger about ½ an inch deep into the potting mix and sowing radish seeds in each planting hole. Then, I'll direct sow some string beans right next to the radishes. These contender string beans are a small bush bean, just perfect for a small garden box like this. So, I'll poke my finger about 1 inch deep into the potting mix and sow a bean in each planting hole to complete the garden bed layout. Then, I'll water in the transplants and the seeds. This will complete the planting process. I decided to move the garden bed into a secure location. I chose to set it on top of some concrete blocks underneath my rain gutter where it will get full sun, but it will get some protection from the rain. I'm afraid if we have a very wet spring, too much heavy rain will destroy or degrade the garden box, so I'm giving it protection up above so I can control the irrigation amount. The final planting results look a little barren and sparse, but I'm excited to see how the plants will fill in and if we get any germination from the seeds we direct sowed. Today is March 21st, and I will check back regularly as the experiment progresses. It's March 28th. Let's check out our raised garden bed that's growing in an Amazon box. And so far, I'm really liking what I'm seeing. All of our transplants grabbed hold. We have our Swiss chard, looks great. The spinach looks great. These southern giant mustard greens, they look incredible. And next to that is the Mizuna. The Miss America Mizuna also looks great. And then we have a lot of our direct sow crops that are coming up. We had really nice germination with the radishes. That's what you see right there. They are all radishes coming up. I think there's another one coming up right there. It's really, really hard to see. And then if I move to the right, our string beans are just starting. We have the first string bean that came up right there, looking great. And then right next to it, we have another one, a second starting to come up. So I think in another week or so, this is really going to start looking like a full garden. Today is April 16th. It has only been 26 days since I started the experiment, and look at the amount of growth that we have gotten in this cardboard box. And keep in mind, we went through a pretty chilly March into early April, and we still got this level of growth. The Swiss chard is looking incredible. The mustard greens are towering over the box. The spinach is actually getting so mature, it's starting to flower, and I need to harvest it. Our Mizuna is looking gorgeous. We have flowers that are starting to form on our bush beans, and we have radishes that are beginning to bulb. I have to take you in for a closer look. The first thing you'll notice is the incredible density of the planting. You will see that every single square inch is taken up by some type of vegetation. The biggest bit of vegetation is obviously the southern giant mustard greens, true to its name, but the smaller Mizuna right next to it, the Miss America Mizuna, is doing absolutely fantastic, and we have some gorgeous, healthy leaves. There is actually no sign of bolting on the mustard greens, which is a stark contrast from the stuff in my garden, which has begun the bolting process out in full sun. Now, we do have some bolting on the spinach that is just starting, that you can see right here. So we need to harvest that as soon as possible, but spinach is one of the most heat-sensitive things that we grow, so that's not a surprise. The Swiss chard is absolutely gorgeous. The leaves are completely free of any type of blemish, no pest damage at all. It's just utterly stunning. And then if we look down below, we are actually getting some bulbing down here on our radishes. The radishes could use a little bit more time, but because the spinach is starting to bolt, I wanted to film this video now before the spinach goes to flower, and I want to pick this actually for dinner tonight. And then our string beans, they have the longest days to maturity, but we can see where they are starting to form some flowers right there. So that is going to flower very, very soon, right about here. So our string bean plants are going to start producing string beans in short order. So as you can see, the results of this free cardboard boxed raised garden bed experiment is absolutely stunning. Everything has basically grown to perfection. So what can we learn from this? We can learn the incredible resiliency of plants. Plants want to grow. Our job as gardeners is to just not mess anything up. It's to give them what they need in terms of sunshine, clean air, water, and food. But aside from that, they want to survive. We don't have to do much more but make sure they have the basic necessities. And they are so obsessed with growing and surviving that you can put them in a cardboard box and they will still grow. So whether you have a massive garden, a container garden, or no garden at all, I urge you to give this a try because it's really incredible to see how resilient life is. And it's completely free. Yes, I know the soil costs money and the plants cost money and you have to water them and fertilize them, but you know what? what? You would have spent that money no matter what you planted them in, and you didn't have to go out and buy lumber, you didn't have to buy containers, you just use a box that you had delivered to your house anyway. So you're recycling and you're putting this to good use. And you know what? This is in such good shape, I honestly could plant it again. And then when it finally decomposes, I'll be able to take that garden soil out and then just either add it to one of my raised garden beds or fill a grow bag or another container with it and reuse it to grow something else. And then I'll take the old rotting cardboard and I'll use it as a free weed mat around my fruit trees and mulch on top of it to suppress weeds for a long period of time. So before you throw all this stuff away, there are smart, cool things that you can do with it, and I urge you to give this a shot. It was really an enlightening experiment for me, and I hope you enjoyed it. So everybody, I hope you found this experiment enjoyable, enlightening, and entertaining. If you did, please make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell so you're notified when I release more videos like these, and share this video with your family and friends that you think would be interested in a gardening experiment like this. For everything I used in this garden experiment and that I use most often in my garden in general, I placed direct links down in the video description for your convenience. For everything else I use in my yard and garden to grow food, I have that linked in my Amazon storefront in the video description. While you're down there, check out my website, themillennialgardener.com, for all things gardening and custom home design merch if you want to support my channel. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see all of you again on the next video. Dale is being such a good boy. We're about to go for our walk, but I'm going to run a little experiment here. I always carry a few treats in my pocket when I take Dale for a walk, just in case I have to grab his attention and to treat him for when he's being good. So just for the heck of it, I'm going to leave that treat on the countertop to see what he does, because I have to use the bathroom real quick. Okay, I'm done with the bathroom. Let's see. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. He's just sitting there staring at it. I was gone for probably a solid 2-3 minutes. Dale, that is so excellent. You're such a good boy. Aw, I can't believe how good he is. I didn't even tell him he couldn't have it. He just knew. You see, that is a very smart, good-hearted boy right there. Dale, you are wonderful. We're going for our walk now.